This is Fulcrum. We're about to watch The Bad Batch Season 2, Episode 10. When we left our crew, they were stranded on a planet, their ship had been stolen, and there's a storm coming in. So, let's see what happens.
Come in. This is Paul.
I know some people are annoyed by Omega, but Omega does deliver. I love a good gonk droid. Alright, nobody we know. Interesting. Okay. What are the chances that the Bad Batch are going to be helping that kid out? And changing the leadership, let's say they. uh, oh, okay. I kind of like that. We haven't got to see Hunter be a badass in a little bit. It's about time. Omega can't really pull off the hardened talk and look. Have they already been stripping the ship? Yep.
Not my fault. Relax. It's not a complicated fix.
Gives me the Steward of Gondor vibes. Those are interesting looking droids. Wonder if they're from the Techno Union. I think we need a change of management. Mako is not the one. And I think it's going to get revealed what's really behind the scenes with Mako and probably a revolt or something. We'll find out. Kindness. That's new. He's gonna question his choices now. This is when things hit the fan. It's about time. Betrayed. He didn't have to. No, it's not. Those are lies. Lies told to keep people in the system.
But I think you'll reconsider.
There we go. Revealed the truth. Everybody turns against Sue.
What's going on, Mako? We toil down in the mines while you enjoy the spoils?
I was taking my share.
Huh. Get it, Omega. Okay, that was pretty awesome. They don't miss. Bye-bye. Okay. Gunk is kind of adorable.
We've seen so many in the galaxy like Moko.
Unfortunately, yes. However, there are many like us out there as well. And that is something.
All right. Yeah. Tech is just the best character this season. I mean, hands down. I love Wrecker, but it's Tech. Okay, people are going to be asking, why is this episode necessary? And the whole point of it is, at the very end there, is that what happens when there's a power vacuum? A lot of times we see that, okay, the Empire are the bad guys, and that's the narrative that we go in Star Wars. But in this episode, we see that this used to be run by the Techno Union, and of course, when the war ended, and then there was that power vacuum, is that somebody else came in to take power. And within that, we find that inequalities. We see somebody that takes that power, uses it for themselves, other people suffer. And it's what we see with the Empire. It's what Omega is seeing throughout the galaxy. And so they're really just kind of driving the point home that not only is that happening with the Empire, but it's happening everywhere. But also the statement that Tech says at the end is that, but there will always be people like us as well. That's not the exact quote, but the idea that there will always be people to also help those in need. And the Bad Batch doesn't shy away from that. I mean, they the first season they shied away from that for a while just to try to survive, but now they're wanting to help people. They're willing to help people without question. Every single time now we see that in this season, and it really shows growth, and it shows that we're going to see that throughout the season, and we're going to see them continue to help people. And I think the next storylines that come up, the significant ones, are going to revolve around the Bad Batch willing to help and what their place is in this galaxy, which I find is interesting. And after the last week's episode and this episode, we kind of see that storyline. We see them last week struggling to find a new dynamic with each other. We see them struggling with their emotions. I thought that was fantastic. This week, we don't really see that kind of character development in the Bad Batch or diving into those inner working aspects of them. We actually see the overall narrative of what's happening in the Empire, what's happening in other parts of the galaxy, what the Bad Batch are against, and what they're there to stand for. And I think that's what this episode does. As far as my enjoyment of this episode, I enjoyed it. I thought the first part of it was fairly basic. They have to retrieve their ship. The kid setup, of course, that was all kind of obvious. So there were some cliche setups in the beginning, but the payoff at the end was nice. I enjoyed last week's episode better than this week because last week with Tech and Omega and their conversation, that got me in the feels. This week, we see a continuation of last week, but also we just see that theme, the overall theme of this season. Yes, we had that mid-season epic aspect with the Empire and with Palpatine, but this again is continuing that narrative. So we're still seeing that within the Bad Batch, and so it's very consistent. And I think now that we have that setup of the two-parter a couple weeks ago of the whole Empire and what's happening with that power struggle, and now we're seeing what's happening with other parts of the galaxy. I think now we're going to be set up for the Bad Batch to have like kind of that next level up in this season, and that next setup for what's going to happen. Of course, now that Rampart is no longer in the picture, at least I'm assuming that he was arrested, now there's a power vacuum there. Now we're going to see what happens on that side of things. I'm guessing. I can't really predict where they're going with this season. I think they're possibly going to take some like left turns on us, and who knows. But I'm enjoying it. The Bad Batch isn't my favorite animated show. I mean, with Clone Wars and Rebels, it's hard to live up to it. But I still very much enjoy the Bad Batch. I'm enjoying the characters. I do like to see. I know some of you out there are annoyed by Omega. I get that. But in this episode, we see that not only is Omega on top of it with figuring out ways of survival. Of course, like having guts of just kind of like pulling a droid and leaping off into possible death for Hunter to catch her. We see a lot from Omega. So I know some of you are annoyed by the character because it's a kid. But the fact that she's a part of the Bad Batch family, the fact that she comes through, I still, she's not my favorite, but I still appreciate Omega, and I still appreciate that she brings a balance to the Bad Batch that without Omega, the Bad Batch would be a bit lost. And I think that is the thing that people are missing, is that Omega brings them into focus, and really through seeing things from her eyes, they have a better understanding of the galaxy and the world, and they've been able to transition from soldiers to something else. So I think that's the missing link that I think a lot of people aren't really appreciating when it comes to Omega's character. That's just my opinion. But again, it's a central part of the show, but you don't have to like every character. And Tech, of course, Tech is the best part of this season. I mean, hands down, the best part of this season. Just seeing Tech's growth, development, and seeing Tech and Omega's relationship is fantastic. I love it. But I hope you're enjoying the show. Let me know what you think in the comments. And thank you for joining me. Of course, don't forget to subscribe. It's been a pleasure. I hope you have a great one. May the Force be with you. Fulcrum out.